Hey, y'all, it's time for more Quantum West, where I look at chapters of Ishmael, the Star Trek book by Barbara Hambly. There is a book in my hand, but the magic of green screen makes it hard for you to see. There it is. Oh, I'm so professional. I'm about out the door on a vacation, so this is going to be the low rent, low effects direct to camera version of these reviews. I hope you like them enough to still click subscribe and whatever other calls of action I'm supposed to do. You can imagine them, blah, 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 something about Raid Shadow Legends, or is that too old? Let's get started, though, with Ishmael, Spock in Seattle. Let's go. Chapter 6. In this chapter, we delve deeper into the dynamics between the characters and witness some intriguing developments. Candy Pruitt, it appears, has a certain fondness for Ish Marks, aka Spock, who does not yet know that he is Spock. However, it's not just humans who have opinions about Spock. Dogs seem to harbor a dislike for him, while cats and women seem to be more drawn to his enigmatic presence. The Bolt brothers from the TV show Here Come the Brides and Candy engage in a discussion about a math trick involving prime numbers that they learned from Spock, aka Ish Marks. The conversation takes an interesting turn when they suspect that Stemple, in going to San Francisco, may try to deceive them with some false figures. One of the brothers suggests bringing one of his brothers along to ensure that they hear the real numbers and the real totals of Stemple's business, thus highlighting their skepticism towards Stemple in general. Amidst these interactions, a small conflict arises when Jeremy Bolt offers Candy a ring in marriage, which she declines, taking offense due to the ongoing bet that all of the women in Seattle will get married before a certain countdown. Meanwhile, Spock displays an uncanny ability to intuitively tell the time, showcasing his remarkable perception and analytical skills, and once again highlighting his alien and Vulcan nature. A moment of suspense then arises when Candy goes missing, prompting a search party to be organized. Spock finds himself admonishing Biddy Klum for her tendency to imagine catastrophic scenarios, going as far as playfully threatening to cover her mouth if she doesn't cease suggesting wild theories like dinosaurs eating Candy Pruitt. Aaron, however, resists the idea of Biddy joining the search, seeing it as a task suited for men. Spock, in his typical logical fashion, challenges Aaron's gender-based reasoning, highlighting the absurdity of associating search ability with gender. As the search continues, Spock recalls the existence of a method to scan for life form readings, but is uncertain about the specifics. He voices his opinion on the irrationality of adhering to societal rules of propriety when people can easily get lost in the rain simply because they don't want to stay under the same roof as someone else. Eventually, Jeremy and Candy are discovered taking shelter in a mine shaft, seeking refuge from the unrelenting rain. The constant rainfall in Seattle is acknowledged as a core feature of the city, with its reputation for prolonged periods of wet weather. Biddy's fascination with Spock's extraordinary abilities persists as she adamantly discusses his exceptional hearing range. Meanwhile, Spock jokingly remarks about water dousing, only to be surprised that people in this particular time and place find it reasonable, find it something that they know about. These glimpses of Spock's interactions and observations hint at his gradual recollection of his memories. In a battle of wits, Stemple challenges Spock's reasoning, suggesting that since Spock can recognize things, he will eventually recognize what he is here to do. Spock acknowledges this and acknowledges the possibility that he has already made mistakes, which will prevent a successful accomplishment of whatever mission he is supposed to be here for, which he still does not know. Chapter 6 delves into the interpersonal dynamics between the characters while continuing to explore themes of gender roles and societal expectations. Candy Pruitt's growing interest and curiosity towards Ishmael Marks, that's Spock, adds an element of intrigue to the narrative, highlighting the potential for connections and fascination across different worlds and backgrounds. One notable aspect of this chapter is the contrasting reactions Spock receives from different species. While dogs display a dislike towards him, cats and women exhibit a certain curiosity and attraction. There's got to be a better way to say that. One notable aspect of this chapter is the contrasting reactions Spock receives from different species and different humans alike. While dogs display a dislike towards him, cats and women exhibit a certain curiosity and attraction. This juxtaposition highlights the ongoing theme of otherization and the struggle to fit in as Spock, being half human and half Vulcan, grapples with his own sense of identity and acceptance. The discussion about prime numbers and Stemple's potential deception introduces an element of skepticism and intellectual engagement among the characters. Their analytical thinking and quest for the truth contribute to the overall theme of critical thinking and questioning established norms and authority. Gender roles and expectations come to the forefront as Biddy Klum expresses her desire to participate in the search, challenging Aaron's perception of it being solely men's work. Spock's reinforcement of this sentiment emphasizes that gender should not dictate one's abilities or contributions. The exploration of gender norms aligns with Star Trek's progressive approach to addressing social issues and advocating for equality. The constant rain in Seattle serves as a symbolic backdrop representing the challenges faced by the characters and the need for resilience and adaptation. It reflects the idea of the frontier where individuals must endure and overcome obstacles, both external and internal. How the characters don't seem to understand that Seattle is going to rain all of the time, I don't know. However, perhaps it has something to do with the theme song to Here Come the Brides.
The bluest sky you've ever seen in Seattle, and the hills the greenest green in Seattle.
Spock's logical reasoning, intuition, and glimpses of resurfacing memories contribute to his enigmatic presence. His unique perspective and abilities add depth to the narrative, enticing readers to ponder the mysteries and possibilities that lie within the character. Overall, Chapter 6 continues to intertwine elements of curiosity, skepticism, social expectations, and the exploration of personal abilities. Through these themes, the chapter invites readers to contemplate the complexities of identity, challenge societal norms, and embrace growth and connection in the face of adversity. Well, things are starting to ramp up here, so be sure to stay tuned to this channel for more unpacking of Ishmael, or the one with Spock in Seattle. No whales, though, yet. Bye. That's a loud washing machine, but I got to get this done. Chapter 7 introduces us to the starship Potemkin, a reference to the Eisenstein film of the same name, and of course a reference to the real ship. The present serves as a nod to real-world lore and the open and inclusive world of Star Trek that saw the then current Soviet Union and the US resolving their differences and going off into space. I mean, after the eugenics wars and everything, but that's additionally, this chapter introduces a group of scientists stationed on the starbase. Their present hints at the scientific exploration research that takes place within the Star Trek universe, emphasizing once again the importance of knowledge and discovery. The way that Kirk tries to solve the problem is by asking the experts who study such problems. Kirk encounters in this quest a unique alien species known as the Drelb. These gelatinous beings communicate through color changes and emitted odors, though they can grow mouths to speak. This adds, of course, an intriguing layer to their characterization. They are depicted as polite and honest to a fault, showcasing their distinctive abilities. In a fascinating twist, the Drelb that Kirk is talking to shapeshifts its form to present dainty hands with pink-painted fingernails, displaying an unexpected attraction towards Kirk. This element adds a touch of humor and highlights the universal appeal of Captain James Tiberius Kirk's charisma. This chapter also alludes to the notion that coffee is not suitable for consumption in space, potentially explaining some of the later TNG-era tea-related issues with replicators. This small detail adds a layer of realism and humor, addressing the practicalities of life aboard a starship. And please remember that during this TOS series time frame, they are usually at war with the Klingons. As the characters engage in conversation and brainstorming, they conclude that the number they possess must represent a specific date that Spock has given them a time to go to. This deduction takes place in the cafeteria, symbolizing the importance of collaboration and shared knowledge and problem solving. The reference to Battleship Potemkin adds a layer of depth and intertextuality to the narrative. The inclusion of the starship pays homage to the iconic film. The reference extends beyond the confines of the Star Trek universe, as we've seen time and again with this densely reference-packed work that's as if Ready Player One knew how to weave references in organically to a story that was not about the references, and taps into the cinematic history that is necessary to understand Star Trek, and also helps us expand the narrative's cultural connections. By referencing Potemkin, the chapter invites readers to explore the thematic resonances between the film and the events unfolding in the story. Potemkin is known for its portrayal of a mutiny aboard a battleship and the subsequent rebellion against oppressive forces. This connection prompts the readers to consider parallels and themes of resistance, power dynamics, and social change within the Star Trek context. For example, Spock will very soon start questioning the social pressures of the Wild West that he finds himself in. Furthermore, the presence of the starship Potemkin serves as a subtle nod to the wider world of art and cinema. It reflects the inclusive nature of Star Trek, which often incorporates references and influences from various artistic mediums to enrich its storytelling. The encounter with the Drelb alien species continues to highlight the diverse range of life forms in the Star Trek universe. Their unique form of communication and shapeshifting abilities contribute to the series' long-standing tradition of showcasing imaginative and distinct alien species. The Drelbs, characterized as polite and honest beings, challenge stereotypes and offer a refreshing perspective on alien interactions. As for the revelation that the coffee is not suitable for consumption in space, this touch of realism and humor is added to the narrative. It emphasizes the attention to detail in depicting practicalities and challenges of life aboard a starship. After all, where does the food from the replicator come from? No wonder some people have a theory.
We recycle pretty much everything on a starship. That includes waste.
It's made of our shit, you know. That's the base material that we use in our replicators.
I thought the cake was chocolate.
Don't I wish?
These small details resonate with fans who will appreciate the franchise's dedication to scientific accuracy. Overall, Chapter 7 weaves together references to cinematic history, the exploration of diverse alien species, and the attention to practical details in space travel. By incorporating elements from outside the Star Trek universe, the chapter enriches the narrative, fostering connections with broader cultural context and inviting readers to delve deeper into the themes and inspirations behind the story. Well, things are starting to ramp up here, so be sure to stay tuned to this channel for more unpacking of Ishmael, or the one with Spock in Seattle. No whales, though, yet. Bye. All right, 700th time back is the charm. I am back from vacation, but not really back up to full speed. We'll get there soon. Anyways, let's talk Chapter 8. Oof. Spock in Seattle. The one with Spock in the Old West. Ishmael. In Chapter 8, readers are taken to the iconic city of San Francisco.
Spock,
Yes.
about those colorful metaphors that we've discussed, I don't think you should try using them anymore.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, you haven't quite got the knack of it.
A city that resonates so deeply with fans of the Star Trek universe. Spock, Joshua, Bold, and Stemple navigate through its streets, providing a tapestry of cultural and character dynamics. Spock's Vulcan heritage is on full display as he observes the myriad forms of human diversity. He recognizes the shared essence of humanity and observation that aligns with Star Trek's early portrayals of human and other races. As the series unfolds, a broader representation of alien species is introduced, showcasing the expansive and ever more inclusive universe of Star Trek. San Francisco does hold a unique place in the Star Trek lore. It's the location of Starfleet headquarters and Starfleet Academy in various series and films. It was prominently featured in Star Trek, The Voyage Home, or The One with the Whales, as we know. The city's portrayal connects it to key historical and futuristic events, grounding the science fiction narrative in a recognizable Earth locale. This blending of the familiar with the fantastical provides a tangible connection for fans, further embedding the narrative's relevance. Within this chapter, Spock's attempt to comprehend human customs becomes a focal point. His exploration and disdain of activities like drinking and gambling contrasts sharply with his Vulcan ideas of relaxation, which leads towards a philosophy he has of doing nothing. This offers a humorous yet insightful look into the vast chasm between human and Vulcan cultural norms, the do-everythingness of humanity and the stillness of Spock and Vulcanity.
I displayed emotion. I beg forgiveness.
A playful sugar-tossing scene throws a wrench into this particular characterization, complicating things more as Spock becomes human, and with Joshua, he tosses sugar around in a sugar-throwing war, and this signifies their growing bond. It's juxtaposed with Aaron's solo adventure through San Francisco, which culminates in a moment of suspense, emphasizing his deepening relationship with Spock. He may be shanghaied, but he is certainly attacked and shot. When a nurse assists Aaron after his ordeal, Spock asks if she's a doctor, to the surprise of everyone else, showing her place in the history of the time period, juxtaposing Spock's time with the time he is visiting.
Can I talk to a doctor?
You are talking to a doctor.
And I need a clicky pen?
No.
A sharp thing?
No.
We visit the past in order to learn where we are now, how we have improved, and how we can still improve. In summary, Chapter 8 interweaves humor, cultural introspection, and tension as the ensemble explores San Francisco. Readers are given a deeper understanding of Spock's views, the evolving dynamics between characters, and the deep-rooted importance of San Francisco within the Star Trek universe. That's right, just as Spock and his secret siblings seem to be the most important people, other than Michael Burnham, in Star Trek, San Francisco is the center of the Star Trek universe. I'll see you next time for more Star Trek, the one with San Francisco. Chapter 9 opens with a lighthearted exchange. Uhura is teasing Sulu about his decision not to spend the night with prostitutes.
Is there anything you require to make your stay a more pleasant one?
It's just that you are the fifth woman to ask me that question this morning.
This interaction underscores the camaraderie within the Star Trek crew. Additionally, Uhura's fondness for drinking is highlighting, adding another layer to her character depth.
To staying in the fight.
The chapter humorously mentions a fictional song, Footprints on Your Heart, serving as a satirical commentary on the predictability of popular music. This witty inclusion speaks to the story's ability to critique cultural trends and offer readers insight into the music industry's formulaic tendencies. I am sure they will be the same even in other centuries. The tone shifts later in the chapter with the discovery of Trey being poisoned. This is the Vulcan historian. This introduces an air of danger and urgency. This event not only elevates the stakes for the crew, but also sheds light on the inherent risk that Trey faces in his quest for knowledge. Trey's awakening and realization of the Klingon scientist's actions lead him to a deeper understanding of the Federation-Klingon conflict. He also realizes that he cannot stay neutral in terms of history. He had earlier claimed that he was simply an observer, but now he is a participant observer and must learn that you cannot be neutral on a moving train, as the great historian Howard Zinn would say.
The world is already moving in certain directions. And to be neutral, to be passive in a situation like that is to collaborate with whatever is going on. And I want you as students to intercede with whatever is happening in the world.
His choice to share this information emphasizes why open communication about potential dangers is so important. In summary, Chapter 9 effectively balances levity with suspense. It delves into some crew dynamics, critiques cultural conventions, and progresses the plot with Trey's critical situation, emphasizing the overarching themes of communication and transparency that Star Trek is all about. Chapter 10 begins with Ishmael / Spock expressing his concern to Stemple about the bet involving the women. Spock objects not only to the tension between Bold and Stemple, but also to the way that the women are treated in this particular situation. He points out that Biddy Clume may not necessarily want to get married, challenging the assumption of all the men in the time period that all the women desire marriage. Spock argues that the bet will coerce Candy into marrying Jeremy in order to save Bridal Veil Mountain, questioning whether she will ever know if she's married him for love or solely to protect the mountain. He highlights the importance of agency and personal choice for women, emphasizing that using money as an excuse to influence their decisions takes away their autonomy. I guess the problem is capitalism. The conflicting emotions Spock experiences regarding this issue lead him to feel a deep sense of shame. His internal struggle reflects his deep empathy and concern for the well-being and individual freedoms of others, showcasing his growth and evolving understanding of human experiences. There is a mention of Jeremy singing 10 with his guitar, and Captain Clancy referencing a minstrel boy, creating an opportunity to include a clip from Star Trek: The Next Generation featuring O'Brien singing the very same song.
The minstrel boy to the war has gone, in the ranks of death you will find him. His father's sword he hath girded on, and his wild heart's love behind him.
This connection adds a touch of intertextuality and nostalgia for fans of the franchise, highlighting the shared musical traditions and the cultural references throughout the Star Trek universe. Stemple's worry about Spock's knowledge of human things, including old songs like the one mentioned before, San Francisco, and water witches, reveals his apprehension about Spock's hybrid nature as a half-human.
In fact, one of my ancestors married a human female.
This concern goes beyond Spock's alien origins and focuses on his understanding of human experiences and cultural references. It highlights the tension and curiosity surrounding Spock's unique position as an outsider with deep knowledge of human traditions. Chapter 10 delves into the moral and ethical concerns raised by Spock regarding the treatment of women and the potential coercion involved in the bet. It highlights Spock's empathy and his growing understanding of human experiences, as well as his commitment to preserving individual agency and personal choice. This focus on women's agency and the potential consequences of societal pressures resonates with broader themes of gender equality and the importance of consent within the Star Trek universe. Spock's objections reflect the series' ongoing exploration of social and cultural issues, demonstrating a commitment to addressing relevant topics and to fostering thoughtful discussions. The inclusion of more musical references adds depth, intertextuality, and richness to the narrative. The use of the song connects characters across different Star Trek series, though I am not sure that the writers of TNG knew about this novel. And this bridges the gap between their experiences and creates a sense of continuity within the franchise. These musical connections and reminders to the past show us the shared cultural tradition of Starfleet, giving us emotional resonance and evoking nostalgia and familiarity for fans. Stempel's concern about Spock's knowledge of human things, specifically his understanding of old songs, San Francisco and Water Witches, underscores the intrigue surrounding Spock's hybrid nature. It highlights the tension between his Vulcan heritage and his deep connection to humanity, as well as the potential implications of his unique perspective on human experiences. Overall, Chapter 10 raises thought-provoking questions about agency, coercion, and cultural understanding within the context of the bet and Spock's growing empathy. It emphasizes the importance of individual choice and challenges societal assumptions, showcasing the series' commitment to exploring ethical and moral dilemmas through its characters' interactions and perspectives. Things are ramping up here, so be sure to stay tuned to this channel for more unpacking of Ishmael, or the one with Spock in Seattle. No whales, though, as far as I remember. Bye.